Hi everyone, it's Armor King, and today I want to talk about Armor King's Crouch Dash 3, the Dark Inferno kick, which has recently gotten a buff in Season 3 to now be cancelable. And what's good about this cancel is that A, you can cancel it into grabs, or B, you can cancel it into mids. However, the problem is that it has about 15 frames of someone being able to freely hit you, so that is a big deal. However, we do have a couple of setups, and let me get into this. Now, this is an old setup that I made back in Season 2. Kadoosh! And that's about 116 damage on Xiao Yu, of all characters, the smallest character in the game. Let's try Thoughts of Himself setup. Now, this setup I like a lot because it premiered in his latest video for 1+4 as the highest damaging wall ender. Now, the only problem with this right here as a wall ender, guys, is that it does one more damage than the typical thing, but than the typical up forward 3. However, guys, again, the problem really that lies here is that you have to dash in deeper, and that means you have to commit to the crouch dash. Unless instead they decide to start crouching guard. Then committing to the crouch dash actually isn't that big of a deal. Look at that. Look at how much forward 2 right there has itself of a hitbox. Now sure, you're not going to hit them with forward 4, but forward 2, now that's really nice. Now let me explain to you guys why that's nice in the first place. The reason being is because they're already at the wall, and if my calculations are correct, it does kind of push them sideways. Now, I think they can still punish you. However, if you do forward 2, it's a lot better than doing forward 4, which will completely whiff. However, you could always go for the mid option. Then again, like usual, that could whiff. And honestly, you just want to be careful. So forward 3 would hit a standing opponent, but it won't hit a crouching opponent. So again, you could always be cheeky and go for the crouch dash 3 setup into cancel. But going for the cancels sometimes enables you to do grabs, and if they're still crouching because they expect you to do a high grab, you could always do a crouch grab. Now, these setups, again, they're varied. You can do whatever you want, but I'm just merely suggesting. Boom. 101 damage. Now, this is alright. It doesn't break the floor like down 1+3 does. So, again, be very cautious when using this, if using this at all, out in the open. If your opponent doesn't expect this move, go ahead and use it. I think that it's kind of cheeky. It somewhat puts your opponent in a mind game to start crouching when they start tech rolling. So that could be a very good thing for you and could be a very bad thing. It just depends on you as the player. So the mainstay for this, I think where this belongs the most, this setup right here, belongs most at the wall. And why I say that is mainly because you can get a bunch of damage off of it. See, 159. And down back 1+2 is guaranteed, but the hit reaction is not, because they can always quick back roll. So let's say here I do this, and I do the crouch dash 3 setup, the typical crouch dash 3 setup. I do this, and they don't duck. I get a tombstone, and they're almost dead. Or And doing that enables me to get about 175 damage if they don't tech roll. Which, basically, I just killed them at the wall. It's overkill. I mean, it's death. And that's if they decide not to duck after getting hit with that, right? And if they decide to duck, they're going to eat another mid. So, let me just show you. Let's put on Crouching Guard, right? Let me do this. Now let me put on Crouching Guard. And they're back at the wall again with another wall splat. And it's about 142 damage just for that wall splat right there. It gets pretty nasty against Armor King with this kind of setup. Of course, they can always break the throw at the bottom here, and they can just not take the mix-up at all. Let's see if we can get Xiaoyu to follow us and do the highest damage setup. Now, that is 124, and in comparison to down to forward 2-1, I think that's like a lot. So, wall bounce, honestly, if you trick the opponent into you hitting them with your wall bounce, let's see like this, right? You do this, you do the crouch dash 3, down back 1+2, and then you do forward 4. They just got wall bounced, and the damage is like, the potential for the damage is infinite, right? So let's say they get wall bounce. Let's see what the damage looks like. That's about 182 damage if you finish that whole thing out. That's pretty fucking nasty in my opinion. So let's do it. Let's do it. Let's see if I can do the whole thing. So let's set them back to guard all, right? So they get hit by the crouch dash 3. I'll set the opponent to crouching guard. And 182 damage. Stop it! Stop it! She's already dead! That's the scenario you're going to be in. However, that's not the smartest way to use Crouch Dash 3, if you get my meaning. So, let's show you the smartest way to use it at the wall. I showed you guys how to use it my way. Now I'll show you guys how to use it the optimal way. Which, you have a lot more frame advantage when you do that. You know what I mean? So, let me show you. You get a wall splat again, you get the back 1-2. Or you can do this. And do the down back 1+2 wall splat again. Get a tombstone. And they're at 141 damage. And if you're on a floor break stage, down back 1+2 just broke the floor, extending your combo. So Crouch Dash 3 is a good wall splat tool. It does 23 damage, it's unblockable. The only downside it has is that it's a high. So if you find yourself with your Crouch Dash 3 setups not working, remember the cancel exists for a reason. Because you and your opponent have mental frames. The mental frame bit is just you tricking your opponent into thinking they got nothing. And I think it's one of the best tools Armor King could have. Because it's just something to scare your opponent with. And even if you cancel out and you get a tombstone, it's 100 damage. You're not really missing out on much. You're not missing out on much. You're not really missing out on much. I mean, okay. What I'm trying to say is, you're missing out on a lot if you don't do this move. Look at that. I can actually buffer quarter circle back. I can actually kind of buffer quarter circle back 1+2 with this. Yeah. Would you look at that? And if that's on a balcony break, that's even better. Because this breaks the balcony, and also this grab breaks the balcony, and leaves them back turned. Depending on the character, you could get yourself a Burning Knuckle setup if you wanted to. Now, these are the advantages of Armor King's Crouch Dash 3 move. I'm pretty sure there's a lot more to deal with here, but in my experience, this is the most I could cover for the move at the moment. Now, let me just give you an Let me just give you, real quick, just a small rundown. The move has amazing tracking to both side rolls, like King's Jaguar Step 4. But it's also a high. So, there's that as well. So, I mean, both Armor King and King share that kind of move, where the move itself wall splats, and it does a pretty good wall splat as well. King's, however, if you land it in a Rage Drive combo, his tail spins. Ours doesn't. Ours just wall splats. And that's not a problem, I don't think. I think it being able to wall splat is just fine. I couldn't agree more with having this as a wall splat. And also, using it out in the open, I mean, it's risky. So let's try doing it out in the open, right? For this kind of combo. It leaves the opponent all the way over there. If it's side roll, quick side roll right. Let's try quick side roll left real quick. It wall splats, but it's too far away for us to do anything about it. So it has a win-lose situation here. It has a win-lose situation. Well, it's kind of just lose-win. I mean, you lose your momentum, and you lose your, you kind of lose a few things doing this out in the open. It's a good move. It's a good move, but the problem is that it pales in comparison to a lot of other moves Armor King has. So using this just as bait to dance around your opponent, it's just a gimmick more or less. It's one of those good gimmicks, but it could be better. It's like the 4-3-4-3 cancel. So, again guys, this has been Armor King's Crouch Dash 3 Dark Inferno. If you guys have any more to say about this move, and if you think this move is worth bringing into your tool set, let me know. Sure as heck, leave me some awesome links in the comment section below for me to check out you guys using this in a match. Thank you guys so much for checking out this video, and again, be seeing you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.